The extraordinary case of the Reform UK MP, James McMurdock, the MP for South Basildon and East Thurrock, whose past has resurfaced in a manner both troubling and enlightening. Elected this year by a razor-thin margin of 98 votes, McMurdock's political career is now overshadowed by revelations made in the Times about a conviction for assault dating back 18 years. In 2006, McMurdock, then a young investment banker, committed a violent act outside a nightclub, repeatedly kicking his girlfriend when he was drunk. For this, he was sentenced to 21 days in a young offenders institution, and the seriousness of the offence and its categorisation as domestic violence shouldn't be underestimated. This was not, as McMurdock recently suggested, a mere push or a teenage indiscretion. It was a brutal assault with lifelong implications for his victim. The issue at hand extends beyond the act itself. It involves McMurdock's handling of the truth. By downplaying his conviction during questioning, McMurdock has misled not only his constituents but also the broader electorate. And it raises fundamental questions about transparency in politics. Had voters known of the full extent of his criminal past, would the outcome of South Basildon and East Thurrock have been different? With his victory margin so slim, one might reasonably argue that full disclosure would have tipped the scales, and this brings us to a pivotal ethical dilemma. Should candidates with such convictions, especially for acts of violence, be permitted to run for public office without full and transparent disclosure? I think people are entitled to a past, as David Cameron said quite rightly. But Reform UK, often vocal about law and order, now faces a significant test of its integrity. The party must decide whether to stand by McMurdock or act decisively to uphold its stated principles. The failure to vet candidates thoroughly undermines not just the party's credibility, but the democratic process itself. One wonders whether this oversight was negligence or deliberate obfuscation, given the party's desire to present a polished alternative to the mainstream. The McMurdock case speaks to a broader crisis in politics, the erosion of accountability, and candidates often face little scrutiny before elections, with the assumption that scandals, if unearthed, can be weathered post-victory. And this cynicism erodes trust in democracy, in our political system, in politics, in Westminster, making voters feel disillusioned and disengaged. After all, even if a past conviction for domestic violence can be hidden or spun, what else might our representatives be concealing? Critics of McMurdock's detractors might argue that people deserve second chances. Indeed, redemption is a noble concept, but it must be earned through genuine contrition and transparency, not deceit. Public office is a privilege, not a right, and those who seek it should hold themselves to the highest ethical standards. McMurdock's attempts to reframe his violent act as a youthful mistake rather than accepting responsibility fully suggests a troubling act of hiding a failure in accountability, and the incident should prompt a re-evaluation of the way we conduct elections. McMurdock's political future may be uncertain, but the lessons from the case are clear. As a society, we should insist on integrity and accountability, but the organisation, Reform UK, needs to tell us what it's going to do, because it would expect the same from other parties, and they need to be held to account.